What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Welcome back to the Respawn. Today we're going to be talking about main tanks versus off tanks, clearing up some of the lore, and also damage over time abilities. It's been a couple weeks since I've been able to make one of these, and I know I've gotten a lot of new subscribers. So if you're new, this is how it works. The Respawn series are videos specifically made to answer your questions about Overwatch. So it can be anything you want about the characters, about the meta, or just what my favorite whatever is. Feel free to ask it down below. Let's get started. First question is about the lore. He says, could you make a video about Overwatch, Blackwatch, and Talon, because I'm super confused which organization is bad and which is not. Alright, so Overwatch is a gigantic peacekeeping organization. They're kind of like the Avengers of the Overwatch universe, right? And then Blackwatch is just a secret group that works within Overwatch. So both of those are good. They both have good intentions. It's just Overwatch is like the public face of it, and Blackwatch is kind of like the secret stuff. As for Talon, they are kind of a bad, evil organization, but they're not evil for the sake of being evil. Like, Doomfist doesn't want to just destroy everything. He wants to make everything better, and he believes the only way to do that is through conflict. Moira doesn't want to destroy everything, she just wants to increase her scientific knowledge, but she does it in kind of bad ways, and she doesn't really care about the after effects. So there's a lot of things that Talon does that's bad, but they're not bad for the sake of being bad. They all have their own little motives and such. Next one is a giant question, and this could be an entire video, but I'm just going to try to keep it brief. What is the difference between a main tank and an off tank? So there's lots of different subcategories of tanks. You have main tank, shield tank, anchor tank, off tank, dive tank. Then you also have bruiser, which is kind of similar but different. So a main tank is a shield tank or an anchor tank. There are only two characters in the game that fit this category. That's Reinhardt and Orisa. And then you have off tanks, which kind of is generalized as being everything else because they're not able to kind of lock down an area as much as Reinhardt and Orisa can. But in truth, you have Winston and D.Va, which are kind of dive tanks. You have Roadhog and Zarya, which really shouldn't even be classified as tanks. They should be classified as bruisers. Funny enough, in Heroes of the Storm, Zarya actually is classified as a bruiser. And what's the difference is that a bruiser is a high health character that might have a little bit of protective qualities, but instead focuses more on attacking, more on DPS. And that is exactly what Zarya and Roadhog do. As far as the off-tank thing, right now we do have a character that could actually be fully classified as an off-tank, and that would be Brigitta. Funny enough, she's not even in the tank category. But the difference being is a main tank and an off-tank, the general difference is that main tanks have a very, very high amount of protective quality to them, and the off-tanks have very low, minimal, limited protective qualities. How long have you been playing Overwatch? I was invited into the open beta in the second week, so quite a while. Is there any benefit to having DoT over normal damage? DoT stands for damage over time. I brought this up in a previous video when I was talking about a potential fire-based character. So is there any benefit? Yes, absolutely. When done correctly, damage over time can be just as powerful as instant damage. So they both have strengths and weaknesses. Instant damage is obviously very good for finishing off, getting that final blow on an enemy, but damage over time is really good at kind of whittling them down. The general way of balancing it is the faster the damage is dealt, the lower the total will be. So, for example, Soldier 76 has the Helix. It does 120 damage instantly. Now, if you were to convert that into a DoT ability, it would probably do something like 210 damage, but over the course of 3 seconds. So when you first get hit with it, it would do 70, then it would do another 70, then it would do another 70. Now the difference is that if they're getting constant healing, then the DoT is going to be easily countered. But if they're not getting constant healing, then it overall does a lot more damage. So it just depends on the situation. So this would make it so that flanking characters who are usually away from their healers would be a lot more susceptible to the DoT than they would be to direct instant damage. Next question, is Brigitta hard to play? Because I'm having a hard time playing her. So Brigitta has a fairly low skill floor, where it's easy to just jump into the character and start doing stuff, and you can be at least a little bit effective with the character. However, the skill ceiling for the character is much higher than people would think. Now, it's not incredibly high, but it's definitely a lot higher than people give her credit for. So one of the main things about the character is you have to use your main healing ability to its maximum effectiveness, because if you are just throwing it out kind of whenever, then you're losing a tremendous amount of your potential healing. Also, you have to be using your other abilities, the Shield Bash and the Whip Shot, quite frequently, but you have to use them effectively, and that just takes a lot of practice. Now, I don't want to go too much into this, but I did make a couple of other videos that should help you out quite a bit. So I made a full guide on Brigitta, on what you should know and how to play the character, and I also did a full listing of all of her counters, so you'll know what she's strong against and what she's weak against. The links for both of those videos will be down below, so check them out, and I hope they help. That's going to be it for this one, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas that you want to see me talk about in the next Respawn video, put your comments down below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my Discord server. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. The links for that stuff are down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault. Also, special thanks to all my Patreon supporters for helping to make this all possible. If you'd like to see what kind of cool rewards you can get for supporting the channel, check the links on screen and down below.